Asia Times, 10th of June 2023, Bangladesh is debating whether to go with the US or China. Bangladesh's Ministry of Foreign Affairs published its first formal report on the Indo-Pacific in April 2023, outlining the guiding principles and goals that would serve as the cornerstone of Dhaka's regional policy. The book shows Dhaka's desire to interact with the region's leading countries and constitutes a significant advancement in its efforts to clarify its vision for the Indo-Pacific. Although the document's contents are pretty generic, they shed light on Bangladesh's difficulty in picking sides despite intensifying the US-China conflict in the Indo-Pacific. The projection provides little insight into Bangladesh's strategy for navigating the intricate and unpredictable geopolitical landscape of the Indo-Pacific. Instead, the guiding principles are more akin to Article 25 of Bangladesh's constitution, which declares that collaboration, respect for international law and norms, non-interference, and peaceful coexistence should govern the country's foreign policy. Bangladesh's constitutional commitment to promoting a peaceful international order based on the UN Charter is reaffirmed. The paper does not mention joint military operations or defense cooperation with any specific political entity. Instead, it promotes strict diplomatic processes to resolve existing conflicts by enhancing mutual trust and respect, forging partnerships and cooperation, and promoting dialogue and understanding to ensure peace, prosperity, security, and stability for all in the Indo-Pacific. The idea of a culture of peace is emphasized in the statement, a United Nations proclamation that Bangladesh was instrumental in helping to create in 1997. The vision advocated for forming rules-based multilateral systems to promote equitable and sustainable development but did not address the region's primary strategic and security problems. The text avoids using Quad's favored phrase, rules-based order. This purposeful phrasing choice demonstrates Bangladesh's aim to take a neutral stance in the geopolitical environment. Bangladesh prefers a more open and inclusive security structure in the area that considers a range of interests and viewpoints. The viewpoint discusses unusual security issues. Priority has been placed on maritime security. The text strongly emphasizes bolstering existing mechanisms on maritime safety and security in the Indo-Pacific. Additionally, it alludes to how natural disasters and climate change may affect security. Regarding international rules and norms, the perspective had a clear stance. Dhaka has pledged to uphold the exercise of freedom of navigation and overflight, in conformity with international law and agreements. The declaration of Bangladesh's adherence to the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, must be interpreted in the context of its own country. Unrestricted access to the sea and respect for UNCLOS standards are essential for protecting Bangladesh's economic interests because the country relies on maritime communication routes. A minor state's successful use of international law in Bangladesh's settlement of naval issues with India and Myanmar by UNCLOS illustrates this. Bangladesh's focus on current international laws and norms does not constitute a criticism of China. Instead, it shows how aware the nation is of its place in the world and the boundaries of its power. Despite appearing to have been written mainly for a foreign audience, the paper also has sections directed at domestic stakeholders. One illustration is the mention of Smart Bangladesh, which emphasizes Dhaka's ambitious plan to support its regional activities on a global scale. The forecast's release comes at a critical juncture in Bangladesh's foreign policy as Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's trips to Japan and the United States in April 2023 placed the nation in the limelight on a global scale. Hasina and Fumio Kishida, the Prime Minister of Japan, signed a joint declaration while she was there, reiterating their shared commitment to a free, open, and inclusive Indo-Pacific. This strategic alliance is important because Japan is building a new economic corridor linking Southeast Asia with Bangladesh and Northeast India. Tokyo has historically provided most of Bangladesh's foreign aid. Geopolitics played a significant influence in forming the strategic alliance, primarily motivated by economic considerations. Relationships between the US and Bangladesh have seen several setbacks due to disagreements on various topics, from democratic procedures to human rights. Diplomatic ties between Bangladesh and Western countries have been made more difficult by the country's close defense and economic links to China and Russia, particularly during the crisis between Russia and Ukraine. In this regard, the joint statement issued by Japan and Bangladesh has emerged as an essential tool for Dhaka to convey to Washington its willingness to support sure of the Quad's goals without committing to any overt strategic alignment. The diplomatic community in Dhaka has given a variety of answers. According to the United States, the Indo-Pacific vision of Bangladesh is essentially in line with its own Indo-Pacific strategy. The Outlook's publication was praised by India's Minister of External Affairs, Subramaniam Jaishankar, who emphasized the importance of upholding international norms. China, on the other hand, has reacted with a lot more restraint. Although Bangladesh's Indo-Pacific strategy does not explicitly favor the Quad, it does demonstrate Dhaka's eagerness to strengthen current ties with the group. However, the paper provides for a more complex and practical foreign policy strategy, considers regional power dynamics, and aims to preserve Bangladesh's strategic independence.